Ready, set, art. Candy and colored pencil. In one video I showed how to draw the candy in graphite. In this video I'm showing how to draw it in colored pencil. So you choose which one. So for this class you can either draw the 3 in graphite or the 3 in colored pencil. The final assignment will be to draw a candy jar with at least 3 different types of candy in it and a label. So I wanted to show different mediums in that. If you heard that, that was my dog. This happens. Alright, so anyways, I want to start with the easiest one, and that's the peppermint candy. Alright, so I'm going to put this right here. I basically just need a few colors. I need white. I need red, if I can get it for you. This green just keeps saying, I want to be part of it. No. Alright, so, and then blue. That's not blue. Blue to do the wrapper part. Okay, so let me put this right here. And of course, actually what is really good for this assignment is the eraser. Alright, there we go. I'm going to start by drawing that circular shape. I'm going to start with this curve and then this curve. Now you have to make sure that when you draw this out that it doesn't straighten out right here. What do I mean by that? What I mean is when people draw a curve here, they straighten it out here and you're like, ew, what happened there? I don't understand. It was a circle. So you draw your circular shape, and if you have a hard time drawing like this, I know I do, sometimes I actually just turn the paper around and then draw that curve. And that does make it easier. So don't let it straighten out on you. If you're that person, start it over. It will never come out correctly. All right, and then from there, I'm going to draw like 2 straight lines going this way and another curve. Don't let it straighten out. All right, next is I'm going to put a little dot in the middle. Okay? And we want to draw that swirl, right? So this is easy. We just kind of create a curve here, another curve, and we do this all the way around, right? All the way around. Some are longer than others because this is not a perfect circle, it's an ellipse. Another one, and another one. Then from there, I'm going to draw a straight line here, straight down, and straight down. Got that? Now here I want to try to keep a white edge because when light hits the edge of something, it's white, it's not black. All right, and then I'm going to fill this in. Okay. There is a special trick for this, and I think you'll like it, but I have to fill it in first. I get to here and I kind of, try to skip some of it. All right, almost there. Let me do another one. I'm not going to do the whole thing because you'll have this attached in Google Classroom, so you'll see the main example, but I at least want to get started. Alright, so next, I'm going to draw these little edges. Look at that, it's almost like little teeth coming off of it. If you've ever looked at this candy up close, it almost looks like it's melting out a little bit. Just like that. I'm going to do the same here. Believe it or not, colored pencil does erase. It just doesn't erase as well as graphite pencil, but you can erase part of it. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit here. Okay, hold on. The other thing I'm going to add is some gray here. Why? Because that's its edge, and there's going to be a little shadow there. Sorry, I'm looking for my gray. Just a little, not too much. Next is white. White acts as a really good blending pencil. So all I do is kind of just stretch this out, and look, it's streaking a little bit. See how that made it streak? That's what I'm going for. Alright? And imagine I did this all the way around, creating that cool streaking. If it's not bright enough in some areas, you could go back and add more red. Okay, so then from there, imagine I filled it in. Let's do the blue part. All right, so I'm going to take my blue pencil, and this is the part that's going to act as the wrapper, or the pretend wrapper, because, you know, we are using colored pencil. And I get to here. Let me do another one down here. I'm just outlining. And I want to create that twist. So I'm just going to take this and swoop. See that? Swoop. Up. And then that way. Sorry, I know normally I wouldn't draw this dark, but I have to do it for demo. So then I bring that down and then bring that up. And that helps create the twist. I'm going to add a few more little lines here. And then some edges. And how I handle the shading here is I kind of start in one end and fade it out. So I press hard and then fade out. And if I think I went too dark, then I could just go back and erase. And I would do that to the point where I have right here. I'm going to add a few little twisties right there. Okay. Sorry, this way. Yeah, again, if you make a mistake, that's okay. You know, I make mistakes still. All right, now I twisted that way, so why not twist this way? So I'm going to go this way, create that irregular edge, bring it down, then this way, create this edge, and then the twisting going up, one going this way, and then you could do that same type of shading I was doing earlier. To finish this part, I want to add some blue lines kind of rounding out. If you remember what records look like, that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding a few blue lines here and there to mimic the wrapper, and I would do that till it was done. So in the demo I showed how to do the streaking and how to create the wrapper. You would do all of the red first before you did the wrapper part. Alright, so now to try the Hershey Kiss. Okay, so Hershey Kisses are interesting because when it comes to reflected light, if the light hits the bottom, there's an actual reflection right here. So that's something to be aware of when we're doing this. If you're thinking, why is it so white right there? It's because of the reflected light. So I'm going to get started. How can I do this right there? Okay. So colors I need. I will actually use some blue. I have this grayish blue, and then I'm going to use gray. I have white and black. I will start with my gray. This colored pencil set, by the way, is just probably the most inexpensive colored pencil set that you could possibly buy. It's Crazy Art. That's what it's called. They have a 36 pencil set, and it's the one I use for all the other classes. And again, if you think you made a mistake, you can erase some of it. They've made colored pencils a lot better in the last few years. Okay, so I think I'm going to indent that more like Hershey Kiss. This is why we have erasers. Teachers make mistakes too, no big deal. Oh, that looks better. Alright, so I've created my shape. I want to create my shadow. If you have a Hershey Kiss at home, you would just put it right there and you could draw the shadow that you see. I kind of liked how when I first did this, the shadow included the little flag that came off of it. Okay, then I want to create the wrap part with these little lines that just come off of it. I want to section off this part here, and then I'm going to create some lines going like this. This is to help so that I know that there's it's actually right there. Now that I have these guidelines in, what I'm going to do is create this shape where it's like a heartbeat going this way. So what do I mean? It's like a heartbeat is, you know, how it goes like this. But we kind of shade it instead, going like this. So I'm going to start here, shade, heartbeat. Then I go to my next line that I had, heartbeat, right? Heartbeat, heartbeat, and another little heartbeat. Okay? And then I kind of create some shadowing here, some shadowing here, a little bit of shadowing right here actually. That's what I'm mimicking. So I have this base here. Before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and fill some of this in. Not all of it, because you would get the idea that I need to do all of it, but just to about there for now. Now I'm ready for my next value. Right now we have white and a medium value. I'm going to move on to my black. And this time I'm going to put some more in here with the heartbeat, but not as much. Okay, so just a little bit. Just like line, almost more line work than shading. See that? Okay. And I think at this point I can make even this part a little darker. I'm going to add some more gray to fill up this area. Okay. Some more black. I haven't added my white in yet, but you'll see. And then I'm going to create a very dark shadow right here, but not out too far, just a little bit, and I'm going to fade it out. Next, I'm going to take my gray blue. You don't have to use a blue, but I think it adds a little something. Alright, now I'm ready for the white, although it's kind of down to the nub, so I need to sharpen it. There we go. And I'm going to use it to blend it. So colored pencils are different in graphite in that it's pigment plus wax. So the wax in it is going to blend with this wax and create a more even blend with it. Starting to blend more. And I kind of just at least get the whites in there to see where we're going. And then at this point it looks like, you know, I probably need more gray. So then I could overlap still on top of that white, and because we're layering the colored wax pencils, it's going to start to blend a little more for you. See how that's starting to work? So at this point, you would keep going till it's at the point that you see in the example. You can put the lettering in, you add more of the cast shadows, and you essentially keep going till it's at this point. Right? And that finishes up the Hershey's Kiss. Let's move on to the lollipop. So the lollipop's actually not that difficult, but it's just a few little interesting steps. So instead of drawing this outside shape first, what happens if you do that, you might accidentally draw it too small, and this part becomes either too small or too big. So how we do that part, and this time I'm going to use the red again. I'm going to go ahead and draw the heart first, the one in the middle, then the next one, and then the next one. All right, that way it's more even. Okay, and that will make it easier for you. My popsicle stick. The blue wrapper. The blue wrapper also goes around right here. And then I also want to include a bow. So this bow, I just kind of go like this. Okay. And then I add another line here and then round it out. That means later I can shade it this way, and that makes it look like a bow. I'm going to do the other side. That was too big, but you know, I'll try to erase it as much as I can. Okay. And then this time I'll go the other way. Alright, and then you can add the ribbon. Okay, so we're going to shade that in a moment, but let's get to this part. How do we make it look rounded? So I'm just going to create this rounded shape that's going to go around the first section. Like that. Then I'm going to offset it. When I go to the next one, I don't want to go striping it. I've kind of checkerboarded it, so I just start here instead. So it doesn't quite match up. Like that way it reminds us of how a lollipop really is. Okay. Then when we shade, I'm going to shade like this. Darker here, lighter here, darker there. This lollipop is actually pink and red, so I need the pink. If at home you don't have pink and red and you want blue and green, That's fine. It works the same. So see with the pink, I made it dark here and then I faded in. If you accidentally go too dark, you could always go with your eraser and kind of erase just like that. And it starts to look rounded. I want to just do one more section, but on the inside right here. So I'm going to go to this one, and it's going to be like this, light. And then I get to here and I fade it back in. So it will start to give this rounded effect. Let me go to this one here. So here with the bow, it's going to be a little darker here, lighter here, and it's going to be dark again there. That kind of gets you started. Then on the inside here, it's really dark. You're going to fade it out. Dark here, and then fade it out. And I'm drawing quickly to the demo. See that? With the blue, it's a similar idea that we did before with the wrapper. You just kind of put in these wiggly little lines, and then you kind of shade inward. And that gives us the idea of the wrapper a little bit. So you just keep going until you pretty much have everything. I usually add a few little wrap lines right there to finish this one with a little shading. See that? And you would keep going till you're at that point. And you could tell I took more time to shade and clean up and erase and then make areas even darker by pressing harder with my pencil for better contrast. I just want to give you a basic idea of how to get started, and then this will be attached in Google Classroom. Thank you and good luck.